Hey guys, it's Denise here, Nola Collectibles, and welcome to my channel. I wanted to do a really fun DIY tutorial today on how to make these really cute glue stick crystal clusters. It's super easy and I thought it was really fun and, just kind of trying something different. I did want to mention that this particular video is sponsored by Monvict. They're a brand of glue gun that you can purchase on Amazon. It's pretty much like the Mercedes of Amazon glue guns. Huge upgrade on my current glue gun. So yeah, I'll link that below so you can check it out if you're interested. Basically here, we're getting right into it. You want to start with just carving out these glue sticks with your scissors. You really want to be careful doing this. You want to make sure your scissors are very sharp. And also, I found that using these kind of opaque looking glue sticks and cutting them was much easier than using the ones that were like more clear, if that makes any sense. And so you want to go ahead and cut them. You can see this one, I'm cutting it. Cut them in all different sizes. You want to have tall crystal points and short crystal points. You want to kind of mimic the shape of a crystalline structure. You can see there, that's like a little bit of a shorter piece. Just think about if you have crystal clusters, like real ones at your house, take a look at them and just think about their crystalline structure. They have like flat tables. Some of them are skinnier, some of them are fatter. And so, yeah, basically you're just mimicking that with your glue sticks. Glue will go shooting everywhere, so just try to keep it under control. It's kind of like clipping fingernails, quite frankly. But I'm telling you that this piece right here is probably the most complicated in the entire video, or it's not complicated, it's just the most difficult out of everything that we're doing here. So yeah, you just want to make sure that you have like a decent enough amount of these little points in various sizes. And if you happen to cut off like any larger chunks, you see there I have like smaller clippings. If you have like larger chunks that you cut off, just go ahead and keep those too, because that can also become part of your crystal structure. So yep, just cutting these, making a whole bunch of little crystal points, going through that process. And you can see here I got a little pile going on. You can go ahead and get your glue sticks at the Dollar Tree. That's where I get them. If you don't want to spend a lot of money on your glue sticks can get kind of pricey. So Dollar Tree sells them now amongst many other crafting supplies, which is really awesome because you can just get your craft on for not a whole lot of money. So you could see there, I'm attempting to mimic a little bit of a crystal structure. Also, what you can also do, which is what I've done with like other little crystal clusters here, you could take an X-Acto knife and just scrape the sides of the crystal just to make it look a little rougher and not quite so glue gun smooth. So you can see here, here's all my faux crystal clusters. So the next step that you want to take here is to take either Sharpie markers or alcohol markers. These are alcohol markers and these are also available on Amazon.com. And I think I have like a pack that I got of like 20 or something like that. And it was very inexpensive. And they're just fun for crafting whatever projects that you might have. Here in New Orleans, we do a lot of crafting all throughout the year, not only just leading up to Mardi Gras. I mean, Mardi Gras is definitely a time of the year that requires a lot of prep. A lot of folks ride in parades, myself included. And, these groups that you ride in, they require like custom throws. So that involves a lot of crafting throughout the course of the year. And most people start that in July, August, so that they're ready for the Mardi Gras season, because a lot of those custom throws really take a long time to make. So here you'll see I'm just painting the glue sticks with the alcohol marker. And just like you would paint anything else, just cover the whole thing. And that's the whole purpose of using the glue sticks here, because they kind of have a crystal looking color to begin with. And you can just really like get into the crevices there and all of those pieces that you cut off to give it a little bit of texture. And just color up and down the sides of the glue stick and make sure that you're getting a really even coverage there. Definitely use a paper towel for this, and I should have used like, you know, finger protectors or something. They actually do come with the glue stick, so you don't burn your fingers when you're doing your glue craft, your glue crafting, which is a great saver, because I don't know how many years I didn't have that and I would always be burning my fingers. But anyway, yeah, just color these bad boys all over the place. Make sure you cover all of the surface area there, and yep, get in all the nooks and crannies, and basically you're just like creating the color of the crystals here. Like I said, super easy to do. Some of these alcohol markers are a little bit wetter than others, and some are like a little bit dry. I don't know if it was like dependent on the color or whatever, but you want to use the ones that tend to be like a little bit wetter. Sharpies work really, really well here too. I used a Sharpie for that black crystal cluster over there, and I used a metallic Sharpie for the other one, the gold colored one. And those ones, you know, you just kind of pump the tip or whatever and the color just comes pouring out. So I found that they were really, really easy to use. Easier than the alcohol markers, and you can get packs of Sharpies that are colored too. I think like if I were to maybe, you know, do a few more of these, I might explore, I think, colored Sharpies versus the alcohol markers, but it worked out just the same. Yep, getting all the inside those nooks and crannies. So I think if this is some kind of like craft activity that you want to do with kids, like this might be a portion that you hand over to them. You know, as long as they can keep their fingers off of the walls afterwards, this is a good one, just to let them, here you go, give them the glue sticks and let them have at it. Let you do all the cutting, let the kids do the coloring. I think the blue is a really pretty color here, and it actually lends itself, I think, really nicely to this kind of like faux crystal look. I think pink would be pretty too. You know, when I was looking at the black one and I was making the black one, I was just thinking of black tourmaline and how it, you know, kind of looks like shards and breaks apart very easily. So that's kind of like my inspiration when I was creating that. So I figured this was just like a fun craft and relevant to the channel, because I know, you know, I collect crystals. I have always had a fondness for crystals and minerals and gemstones. And so I think this is just something that lends itself very naturally to jewelry lovers and people who like this type of thing. You'll see later on the video, I'll show you kind of like where I put a few of them in my home, and they just kind of like blend right in. I do have natural crystal clusters myself. I have like a big chunk of angel aura quartz, and I have some amethyst, a large amethyst chunk of geode, a big geode cracked open. So like I said, I don't keep them all out at once, but you know, I kind of like rotate them when I feel like putting them on display. And yeah, they're just kind of fun. This is also like a pretty quick crafting project. You can see here, I thought about speeding this video up, but the entirety of it here is just 22 minutes, and it really is fast. You know, you could churn out a whole bunch of these little clusters in a very short amount of time. And I think I'm going to maybe even experiment with making ones that are larger. You'll see the technique that I kind of use here for getting them into this like smaller size, this nice little cluster shape. But you can definitely, I think, use larger vessels to create your cluster and end up with like really large ones. You just probably just have to let the glue dry and everything, but I'm getting ahead. We'll slow down here because it's back to coloring. So you'll see here, this is like a little piece that I cut in half. And so the ones that are like this, I think they actually they look even better. They look more like natural crystal structures to me. So here we are. I was just finishing up, like coloring all the little bits and pieces that were left over, just so that we have a nice variety of shapes and a nice variety of different heights, so that we can put them all into the little cluster. You can also see like my finger is now blue. So there we are, just doing a little touch up there, just to make sure that the color is nice and saturated, if I didn't miss any sections. And this is the finished product right here, just a little cluster of blue pseudo crystals. So here I'm just taking a little water glass that I had, you know, and everyone's got a water glass right like this, right? You can even use probably like a little Tupperware container or something. And I'm just taking a coffee filter and kind of making a little shallow well. You don't want it so shallow that the crystals will not stand up, but you don't want it so deep that it's gonna like sink into itself and fold up on itself. And then I just take a hair elastic and tie it around there to secure it, so that when I do put my glue in there, it's not slipping and sliding around. So there we have it, like a nice little kind of well. And right now, what I'm going to do is just take my glue gun and fill it with a good little pool of hot glue. So there you see it. That's my new Mercedes, baby. Not really, it's just my hot glue gun. But I like it, it's so fabulous. Like I said, I had like the cheapest little glue gun for the longest time. You know, it was it was tough to work with, but this one's like really nice, and it heats up really fast, and it's actually cordless. Like you can charge it up and let it heat up, and you can unplug it. So if you need to do crafting on the go, you can do that. So here you will see I just made a little pool of glue. And I'm taking my crystals, my fakey crystals here, and I'm just placing them into the glue. And you definitely want to kind of hold on to them a little bit, just to make sure that the glue is setting and drying, and that you have like a nice little shape for your crystals. And so I just like to vary the sizes and add them here and there, and just, you know, like I said, get a little cluster structure going. And you can adjust them as you go, because you know the glue doesn't dry automatically. So if you see one of the dudes falling over, you can give them a little bit of extra glue on the back, as I do here, just to prop them up. And then I'm just adding extra glue along the side so that I can add some additional crystals. So there we go. That's a good little shape right there. And I'm just kind of fixing here and there where I see them sliding or falling over a little. And this is the fun part. So there's this fabulous store here in New Orleans called Nola Craft Culture, and it is just a store for crafting. I mean, yes, Michael's is a store for crafting, but this is like really next level. And they have all these like custom glitter blends. And so I just took this ultra fine glitter that they make there. I had from Mardi Gras, and I used it because I thought it was like a nice kind of multi-blended glitter with bits of green and different shades of blue that would look super sparkly and would really offset the color of the blue that I used for the crystals. So like I said, it's an ultra fine. They actually do mail order. It's just nolacraftculture.com, I believe. I'll link it down below. And they do a lot of mail order. Like I said, they have the most fabulous glitter blends that you've ever seen. They have like a Tiffany's color that looks exactly like a Tiffany's present, and stuff like that. Just really, really fun. So you just want to really allow that to dry, let the glue solidify, and leave it alone. I know you can get a little impatient here and you want to just bust it open, but just let it dry. I also want to mention here that when you're placing your coffee filter into the glass, you want to try not to get fold in the coffee filter. You can see right there, I do have a fold there, and that will make it a little difficult for the last stage, just to kind of like color things in. I mean, but no big deal. This isn't, you know, this isn't exact science. This is just fun. It's just glitter, folks, right? It's just crafting. That's okay. So when you've given it a good amount of time to glue, then you can take it off, and you just want to remove the hair tie gently. And there you have kind of like your little glittery crystal cluster all fully formed in your coffee filter. And you can see here it is still a little bit wet because I was impatient. I didn't let it fully dry. So I just come in with a little bit of extra glue to fill in a spot from where I kind of like pulled it apart a little bit. So just get in there, get all the nooks and crannies with your glitter, just to make sure everything's covered, and you see there what we're dealing with. It's so glittery. Also, you guys know what glitter is all about, so if you don't want to be eating glitter for like a few months to come, I suggest really laying down some newspaper on your table just to ensure it doesn't get anywhere, because glitter will get everywhere. So here you can just kind of like pour off the excess glitter, which you definitely want to do because y'all, glitter is expensive, especially glitter that's, you know, specialty glitter. So yeah, always want to save some of those like little extra bits and just pour that off and back into the container. There's always going to be fallout with glitter. You don't control the glitter controls you. So yeah, here we go. Now it's definitely looking more dry than it was before, and you have your structure here. And so the next step that you're going to want to take for this is just to cut away the coffee filter. So you're going to take your scissors and just cut away. And if there's any kind of like weird little errant glue pieces or anything, you can go ahead and cut it off during this stage as well. And so like what I like to do is just, yeah, cut the large portion off, and then you can get in there and just fine tune it and get closer to, you know, your crystal crystal structure, whatever we're calling it. So yeah, just cut around it. Make sure you get all of the excess coffee filter off, and you want to get a nice little round shape too. Looking back at this, I'm thinking that like little scissors probably would have been better here, but I have my big old crafting scissors. But yeah, I think that if you have manicure scissors, those might work very well here too. But yeah, if you can't get it off with the scissor, you just kind of have to fold it this way and that way, bend it, manipulate it, and you can even pull some off, like you don't even need the scissor. And just get as close as possible to the base of your little structure there. Here we have it. I think that's a sweet little cluster right there. Looking very, what's that land that Superman is from? It's very kryptonite-ish, don't you think? If Superman shopped at Tiffany's, maybe. Second Tiffany's reference, folks. We should make a drinking game out of it. So yeah, here's where you want to take like your big chunky Sharpie marker, and you're just going to color in the base here. So, you know, I used black here, and this is what I used for the two other little clusters that I made. But again, in hindsight, I'm thinking, you know, brown probably would have made a little bit more sense here, because when you think about natural geodes and natural crystals, like, yes, they're black, but they're often brown, or sometimes they're gray. So, but again, it's not, you know, the end of the world here, because you're not even really going to see this, but and we're just looking to add like a little bit of dimension to the whole thing, so that, you know, wherever you decide to put this thing, you know, you can see a little bit of that base color poking through, just to give you that extra believability. But yeah, I think the dark brown here would probably be good, maybe with a little flecks of gold or something like that. I'm going to experiment a little bit more. So yeah, just get in all the little nooks and crannies, make sure everything's covered. And you also want to make sure you're getting all of the edges of the coffee filter, because that's really what you're going to see. And here you can also see what I was talking about. When the coffee filter is folded over, it makes it a little bit more difficult to color. So super easy. So you can see there, it's a little tough to get in there. But just want to be sure that you get the edges. So yeah, you could see some of my glitter fall out right there on the table. It's never gonna not happen, folks. I try to be neat, but we're dealing with glitter here. So there we have it, pretty good. And you can see like the edges there look really cute on the finished product. So there we have our little blue crystal cluster, our glue stick crystal cluster. And here are my little dudes all lined up that I created earlier, my gold one, my black one. And here's the finished goods and how they look kind of like placed amongst my decor. You know, here's my collection of red glass and it looked really cute next to my amberina glass. And here we have it placed just against some of my mineral eggs. So really super cute here. Just a fun little DIY, really quick crafting project. And so I thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you'll stick around. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Give me a like on the way out. I appreciate you being here, and have a great day. Bye.